Namaste, yogis. Thank you for joining me. We are starting today with a quiz. I have a plant here, and I'd like to see if anybody can identify it. A couple of hints are that it can be grown indoors and that it looks like it might be blooming. If you think you know the answer, please write it in the comments below. And now let's start our practice. Hands in Namaste. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take your hands behind your back, grab one wrist with the other hand, and take a deep bow. Today's topic is Satya. Satya is one of yoga's yamas or restraints, which means truthfulness. First, let's take a look what the Yoga Sutra says about Satya. As truthfulness is achieved, the fruits of actions naturally result according to the will of the yogi. If you watch the talk about ahimsa, Satya is practiced in a very similar manner as ahimsa. That is, it is practiced on three levels: the action, the speech, and thought, as well as practice towards others and ourself. So what does it mean to practice Satya or truthfulness on an action level? If we think about the opposite, the word hypocrisy comes to mind. That is, somebody may be doing good actions, donating money or working for a good cause, but they are not doing it for the good cause. They are doing it for personal gratification, a personal recognition, something to benefit them instead of the good of society or of others. So what is the Satya that we practice on the level of speech? That is what we all know as lying, telling some story that is not true, but pretending that it is. And if that story that we tell, that lie that we tell, actually harms someone else or brings negative effects to anyone, that is also breaking the rule of ahimsa at the same time. Practicing Satya at the thought level is a little more difficult. For example, somebody may get the thought, I'm going to lie, or I can get out of this situation by twisting the truth a little bit. And then they say, oh no, I better not do that. I better be honest. And they tell the truth. But just the fact that the thought came that they thought they would lie and get out of a situation, according to the teachings of yoga, for any yogi who wants to attain a higher level of perfection, that is also breaking the rule of Satya. So we need to work on that a little bit. So what is it to be truthful to ourselves? That is, if somebody asks us to do something dishonest or something that goes against our principles, we do not do it. If we make a mistake, instead of trying to blame someone or the situation or to hide our mistake, we honestly admit that we did it and try to make corrections. Or we can admit to ourselves our own character defects, and that is the way to correct it. The first step is to recognize that we have those defects. We can also be honest with our actions. That is, try to do everything from our heart, from the goodness, and try to be useful or of service to society, to others. And if we cannot do something from our heart, if we have that feeling within us that we don't really want to do this, maybe that means that we should not be doing it instead of doing it against our own will. Mohandas Gandhi, who is considered the founding father of India, once said, "Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony." This is the ultimate attainment of Satya. We can always lie to others, but we can never lie to ourselves. And when we try to do so, it ultimately brings us unhappiness. Each of the yamas are good teachings, but when we try to practice them all at once, we soon notice that it is not possible. For instance, if we practice one of them, then we would be breaking the other. A good example is maybe if you were to tell somebody the truth, it would end up hurting them. Here's a story about a sage in India. This sage was said to have mastered Satya to perfection. That is, he did not even get any thoughts that were negative in his mind. So he lived up in the mountains alone when one day a man came running up the hills, and he looked like he was in a panic. He was holding this bag and he kept looking back as if somebody were chasing him. And as he passed in front of the sage, the man said, "These bandits are chasing me. I'm going to hide in that cave, so please don't tell them where I am." So the man proceeded to hide in the cave. Several minutes later, a group of mean-looking bandits with knives and sticks came running up the hill. And they saw the sage sitting there and they asked, "A man with a bag came running up this way. Have you seen him? Do you know where he went?" And the sage looked at them and said, "Yes, I do. I've seen him. He's hiding in the cave right over there." So the bandits ran up to the cave, dragged the frightened man out of the cave, and ended up killing him. Then they took his bag and ran away. So the moral of that story is, even though this sage attained a high level of Satya, perfection in Satya, he never reached Kaivalya or liberation because he just did not get the point. So the goal is not to perfect the yamas and niyamas or the restraints and observances, but it is being able to use them as tools, to use them in different situations in our lives, combine them how we may so that we can live wisely and eventually find happiness. Okay, now let's start our practice. Stand up. Let's start our practice with the hands in and out. So feet are about hip-width apart. Hands are interlaced in front of the chest. With your inhale, take your palms forward. Exhale, return. Inhale out. Exhale, return. Do 3 more. And when done, we'll go diagonally up. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. 3 more. You can try it with your eyes closed if you have the balance. When you're done, we'll go straight up. Inhale straight up to the sky. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. 3 more. And when you're done, relax, shake it out. So next we'll do leg swings. We'll start with the right side. If you need to hang on to a wall or a chair or anything for support, please do so. So we'll start by swinging the right leg back and forth. About 10 plus or minus a few Don't really have to count. You can move your arms along, or your hands can be on your waist. So about 10. Then we'll swing the right leg from side to side. Again, you can add your arms, or arms can be on your waist, or you can be hanging onto a chair or a wall. The next one's a little more difficult. You'll swing the right leg behind the left leg. So if you need to take steps in between behind you, that is fine. And release when you're done, shake it out. So we'll do the other side. When you're ready, swing your left leg back and forth. And when you're done, come back to the center, then swing your left leg from side to side, starting in front of your right leg. After about 10, we'll swing the left leg behind the right leg. This kind of helps us warm up a little bit before our actual asana practice. And come back to the center when you're done. So next we're doing a pose called Garudasana. Actually, the arms are Garudasana, the legs are just spread wide apart. So it's like a half eagle pose or half Garudasana. So spread your legs apart, point your toes out, bend your knees up to 90 degrees. If you really want to challenge yourself, bend your knees deeper. Bring your right arm forward, palm facing to the left. Hook your left arm around the right. If you can bring your hands in prayer, that's great. If not, grab the wrist or whatever works for you. Then try to push your elbows up as you bend your knees, and close your eyes if available, otherwise keep them open. Breathe deeply as you hold the pose. Squeeze in your stomach muscles and your pelvic muscles. Make sure those elbows don't come down. Inhale, slowly come up, release your arms. Exhale, lower the arms. Let's take a little break in between in case anyone needs it. And we'll switch sides. Open your legs again, a little wide, point the toes out, bend your knees. Bring the left arm forward this time, hand pointing to the right. Hook your right arm under the left. Bring your hands in prayer or wherever you can go. Push your elbows up, keep your knees bent. Knees up to 90 degrees. And if available, try closing your eyes. Breathe deeply. Pull in the stomach muscles, pull up your pelvic muscles. Flatten your back. And relax. With your inhale, straighten your knees, reach up with your arms. Exhale, lower your arms and release the pose. Take a break. Okay, next is a balance pose, Vrikshasana. Again, if you need to have a wall, hang onto a wall or a chair, please do so. Or you can just keep both feet on the mat as you do the pose. So turn your right knee outwards. The right foot can be on the mat or to the base of the left leg or to the knee of the left leg. Whatever works for you. Start with your hands in Namaste, in prayer. Maybe take a breath or two in this position. And if you feel like evolving the pose, you can take your arms out. or take your arms up, or do any pose that works for you. Both arms do not have to be the same. Or you can keep your hands in Namaste. So we'll work on the balance for a few more breaths. It helps to stare at an unmoving point ahead of you and deepen your breath. And inhale, slowly bring your arms up. Exhale, with control, release the pose and take a break. Okay, we'll switch sides. Left knee out, left foot on the mat or above right knee or to the base of the right leg. Push your legs inward. That'll help stabilize the pose a little more. Start with your hands in Namaste. And if you'd like to evolve the pose, you can raise both arms up. You can take both arms to the side. You can even have one arm up, one arm to the side, or one arm forward, one arm behind you. Feel free to play with it. We don't have to suffer in yoga. We can have a little fun with it. So take it where you like to go today. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, release. Take a little break. Very nice. So shake it out a little if you like. And then we'll come to a seated position. So sit in any comfortable position. This is one of my favorite shoulder stretches. So see how you like it. We'll raise both arms up with your inhale. Then point your thumbs forward and bring your right hand over left and interlace your fingers. So in this position, we'll stretch up first. Inhale, get your spine as long as you can and hold it here. Take a few deep breaths. So this benefits the spine obviously as well as your arms and shoulders. And let's inhale and exhale, bend to the right, straight to the right, imagining you're leaning against the wall as you do the pose. You can actually do it against the wall if you like, if you have a wall at home. Press down on your left hip. And by doing so, you'll feel a nice stretch along your left side. And just hold it here. Inhale, slowly come back to the center. And exhale, bend to your left side. Press down on the right hip. Feel a nice stretch on the right side. Kind of slightly twist your body upwards. Looking kind of upwards. That helps you go straight to the side instead of bending forward. So you'll get a little extra deeper stretch that way. Inhale, slowly come back to the center. Release your hands. Exhale, lower your arms and relax. Move your shoulders a little bit if you like. Feels good, doesn't it? Okay, so we'll switch sides now. Gotta do both sides. Inhale, bring your arms up. Point your thumbs forward. This time bring the left hand over right and interlace your fingers. Then we'll stretch up. Inhale, press upwards, reaching as high as you can, getting your spine as long as you can. Exhale, relax, and take a few deep breaths in this position. Okay, we'll start with the left side. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend to your left. Press down on the right hip. Feel a nice stretch on the right side of your body. Slowly come back with your inhale and bend to the right with your exhale, pressing down on the left hip and feeling the stretch on your left side. Kind of twist your body to face upward, feeling a nice stretch also in your arms and shoulder area. Inhale, slowly come back up, release your hands and exhale, lower. Let's move around the shoulders again. Okay, it feels good, doesn't it? Next, let's do a few head circles. We'll do about 10 circles in each direction. So let your head fall back and make 10 slow, big circles in each direction. So we did the shoulder stretch, so your neck might be moving a little smoother than normal. The neck and the shoulders are connected, so these shoulder stretches also help your neck. So if you have any stiffness in the neck, that stretch that we just did should relieve a lot of it. Okay, I'm not really counting, so just do about 10 in one direction and then switch when you're done. Okay, let's do one more. And come back to the center. So next is a side twist. This is nice for the waistline. If any of you want to work on your belly fat or your love handles, this is the pose for you. So take your right hand behind you, left hand on top of or to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, stretch your spine up, extend as high as you can, then exhale, twist to the right. The good thing of doing yoga in the privacy of your own home is that you don't have to worry about whether you can do poses or not to impress anybody or to look good. You don't have to be ashamed of you not being able to do something as well as others. Really, you're not supposed to do that anyway in your yoga class. You're just supposed to close your eyes and focus inward. But a lot of people, when they're especially out of shape, or they're very stiff or have issues, they're kind of self-conscious. So doing this at home, you can just sit in a chair or relax or just skip poses if you like without worrying about anyone watching. So that's kind of a nice thing of doing yoga at home. Okay, let's inhale and release. Come back to the center. Shake side to side a little if you like. And we'll switch sides. Take your left hand behind you, right hand on left knee. Inhale, stretch upward. Exhale, twist to the left, looking behind you. If you'd like a little extra benefit to your stomach area, right at the end of your exhale, try and pull in your stomach muscles. Like you're really squeezing it in. and that'll kind of release some of the fat and the body fat, and it also helps stimulate your internal organs. So if you have digestive issues or some toxins built up in your stomach area, this will help relieve it. Okay, inhale and exhale, release, come back to the center, move around if you like. Okay, let's do one more seated pose. Extend your left leg out diagonally. Place your left hand behind you. With your right hand, grab the inside of your right foot. Straighten your back, and when you're ready, exhale, extend out your right knee the best that you can. If you can't get it straight, that's okay. You can also use a strap if you'd like, or hold the shin, the calf, or the thigh instead of the foot, or you can hold the ankle as well. So just wherever works for you. And relax in this pose. Close your eyes if available, looking upward. That'll help keep your back straight. Inhale and exhale. Bring your foot in front of the chest. Grab your right foot with both hands and gently pull it towards you. If you can get that foot a little closer to the center, that's great. If it tends to go towards the left, that's okay too. Just kind of work on eventually trying to get the foot to the center and gently pull the foot towards you. Inhale and exhale, release, take a little break, and we'll switch side. So place your right hand behind you, bend your left knee, the right leg is extended, and hold anywhere along your left leg. If possible, you can hold under the left foot. And when you're ready, straighten your back and exhale, extend out that left knee the best that you can. Close your eyes, take a few breaths, relax. Some people might have their knees shaking, their legs shaking on the left side. That's okay. That means you're strengthening the legs, so that's a good thing. Just try to stick with it. Release, bring the left foot to the center and gently pull the left foot towards you using both hands. If you can get it to the center, that's great. Or if not, just do the best that you can. The right toes are pointing straight up. Keep the back straight. Couple more breaths. And exhale, release. Shake it out. Bring both soles of the feet together. Holding your feet, going up and down with your knees. Okay, let's fold forward. If your knees are way up here, try to push them down with your elbows or your hands, or you can just lean forward. The goal is to push down on your knees as you fold forward. So whatever position works for you, we'll come forward. Inhale and exhale, bring your head towards the mat. Try to relax. Inhale, slowly push yourself back up. Exhale, relax. And now let's go into Cobra Pose. So lie on the mat face down. So we're lying on the mat with our stomach down. Bring your feet as close together as you can for maximum benefit. Place your hands on the mat, shoulder width is slightly wider apart, palms facing down, fingers spread wide apart. There's different schools of how they teach this Cobra Pose. So if you know a version that works for you, you can try that. Otherwise, I'll show you what I have learned. So place your hands down on the mat, look straight ahead, and when you're ready, slowly push your hands into the mat and look forward, closing your eyes. Squeeze your buttock muscles, squeeze your thigh muscles, bring your feet as close together as you can. Some schools teach that your navel should be on the floor. Others teach that you can go back as far as you like. If you have back issues and this doesn't work for you, you can even keep your elbows on the mat and just make it into a gentle, they call it Sphinx pose. So you can just hold it there with your elbows on the mat. So make it work for you. Take a few deep breaths. So this pose compresses the lower back. So when we release it, we're going to go into child pose to release the pressure. So inhale, exhale, release. Push yourself into child's pose. Knees apart, big toes of the feet touching. Bring your hips over your heels, extend your arms forward and bring your head towards the mat. So you should feel a nice stretch in your back. It is recommended that whenever you do back bends, then you should do a forward bend to counter whatever pressure is built up in your spine. Okay, slowly lie on your back this time, flipping over. Bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet onto the mat. And arms out to your side, palms facing down in a T position. Keep your feet about mat width apart. When you're ready, inhale and exhale, lower your knees to the right, head to the left in a side twist. If you would like to deepen the pose a little bit, you can take your right heel on your left thigh and gently press downward. Release, inhale and exhale, return to the center. Okay, so we'll switch sides. When you're ready, inhale and exhale, lower your knees to the left and turn your head to the right. And to deepen the pose, you can bring your left ankle on your right thigh. Release, inhale and exhale, come back to the center. Let's hug the knees into the body and rock side to side if you'd like, massaging out your back. Come back to the center. Let's do knee circles this time. So make big circles with your knees in opposite directions, using your hands to guide the knees. 10 big circles in each direction. And when you're done, we'll come up. Let's use the yoga style of coming out of the pose. You can make this into a habit, so you always get up this way. So roll onto your right side, raise your right arm above your head, place your left hand on the mat, and using both hands, push yourself into a seated position. Good. Now you can sit on a blanket if you like, or a pillow, or just directly on the mat, sitting any comfortable position. I like Sukhasana. If you don't like this pose, or if it's uncomfortable, you can have your legs forward. You can even sit in a chair if you like. So now we're going to do a breathing exercise. I call this 4-8 breaths. I learned it from a Himalayan yogi, and he didn't really tell me what it is called, so I just call it the 4-8 breath. What we do is we inhale 4 count, 4 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. And that's the beginner pace. You can take this to, if this is too easy, if you've done this before, or you have done some kind of breath training, you might take it up to 5, 10, 6, 12, or even 10, 20. The yogis, some of them use this breath. They can take it up to actually 30-second inhale and a minute or 60-second exhale. And the more you practice this, the more you're controlling your chi, or your life force, your prana in your body. So a lot of these yogis, when they master this exercise, they're able to, if they hurt themselves, they're able to stop the blood flow from the injury, or they can control the pain, or they can control their heartbeat. So it's a very powerful type of breath. Of course, to get to that point, it'll take years of practice, almost daily practice, but if that interests you, that's something that you can try on your own. Today we're going to start with the beginner version though, because some of you are probably new to this. So we'll do the 4-8 count. Inhale 4 count and exhale 8 count. And about a second per count. What I'd like you to focus on is when you inhale for the 4 count, make sure the air goes up as smoothly as possible. In other words, don't inhale in the first second or two, and then the end you just kind of, you run out of space and then it kind of slows down. No, we want to kind of smooth. So the first count and the 4th count, an equal amount of air is entering your lungs. The 8 count exhale is a little more difficult. So you have to exhale for 8 seconds, and while the first second and the 8th second have about the same amount of air going out. What happens usually is that people exhale too quickly, and then they kind of run out of air, so they're kind of forcing themselves to push the air that is not there in their lungs. So try to make it as smooth as possible, both on the inhale and the exhale. And like I said, if you have done this before, you want to do a little more difficult version. I'm going to start us off with 4-8, but you can start off with any count that you like. And I'm going to add a clock sound, a ticking sound to this breath, so that you can keep your pace. Okay, ready? Sit in your comfortable position, spine straight, hands on your knees, eyes closed. Take a couple deep breaths first. Completely relax. And when you're ready, completely exhale and begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And continue at your own pace. Slowly end your practice. Relax. So you can tell this involves a little mental focus as well. It's a good exercise. It can be part of your meditation practice. Okay, now let's lie down on the mat. We'll go into final relaxation, your Shavasana pose. Arms spread out to your side, feet slightly apart, palms facing up, looking straight up. I will not record the Shavasana, so take it as long as you'd like. You can pause the video, take your Shavasana. When you feel like you're ready, do a few stretches on your own, maybe circles with your wrists and ankles and moving your head around. And when you feel ready to get up, you can come to a seated position, and we will close the class with our final chant. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. Please join me again in the future. So let's do our chant together. Bring your hands in Namaste in front of your heart. Close your eyes if you know the chant, or you can open your eyes and look at the screen. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.